Today I'll be start. Today I'll start reading. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, the prayers by the demigods for the Lord Krishna in the womb. From the text 35. Text 34. O Lord, during the time of the maintenance, you manifest several incarnations, all with the transcendental bodies beyond the material moods of the nature. When you appear in this way, you bestow all good fortune upon the living entities by teaching them to perform the Vedic activities such as the ritualistic ceremonies, mystic yoga, austerities, penance, and the ultimately samadhi, a static absorption in thoughts of you. Thus, you are worshipped by the Vedic principles. Text 35. O Lord, the cause of all causes, if your transcendental body were not beyond the modes of the material nature, one could not understand the difference between the matter and the transcendence. Only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your lordship. You are the controller of the material nature. You are transcendental nature. Is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. Text 36. O Lord, your transcendental name and form are not ascertained by those who mercilessly speculate on the path of the imagination. Your name, form, and the attributes can be ascertained only through the devotional service. Text 37. Even while engaged in the various activities, devotees whose mind are completely observed at your lotus feet and who constantly hear, chant, contemplate and cause others to remember your transcendental names and forms are always on the transcendental platform, and thus they can understand the supreme personality of Godhead. Text 38. O Lord, we are fortunate we are fortunate because the heavy burden of the demons upon this earth is immediately removed by your appearance. Indeed, we are certainly fortunate, for we shall be able to see upon this earth and in the heavenly planets the marks of the lotus, conch shells, club, and the disc that adore your lotus feet. Text 39. O Supreme Lord, you are not an ordinary living entity appearing in this material world as a result of the fruitive activities. Therefore, your appearance or the birth in this world has no other cause than your pleasure potency. Similar, the living entities who are part of you have no cause of miseries like birth, death, and old age, except when these living entities are conducted by your eternal energy. Text 40th. O Supreme Controller, your Lordship previously accepted incarnation as a fish, a horse, a tortoise, Narasimhadeva, a boar, a swan, Lord Ramachandra, Parshurama, and among the demigods Vamana Deva to protect the entire world by your mercy. Now please protect us again by your mercy by diminishing the disturbances in this world. O Krishna, best of the Yadus, we respectfully offer our obeisances unto you. Text 41. O Mother Devaki, by your good fortune and ours, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, with all His plenary portions, such as the Baladev, is now within your womb. Therefore, you need not fear Kamsa, who has decided to be killed by the Lord. Your eternal son Krishna will be the protector of the entire Yadu dynasty. Text 42. After thus offering prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, that transcends all the demigods with the Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva before them, returned to their homes in the heavenly planets. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 10th Canto, second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Prayers by the Demigods for Lord Krishna in the Womb. Thank you so much, everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Das Prabhuji, please accept our humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Prabhuji, please take over the call.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Radharani Mataji, for reading today's Bhagavatam section, Slokas translations. And thank you all for joining. And also thank you, Sundarananda Prabhu, for giving this opportunity to share a few points from the purports of Srila Prabhupada for my own purification. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 2, Prayers by the Demigods for Lord Krishna in the Womb, from Slokas 34 to 42. So I'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Dinamani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatta Deshatarani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we're in the section of Supreme Lord Krishna appearance. In the last chapter we heard how when Vasudeva and Devaki got married and Kamsa was driving the chariot back to Vasudeva's house, and then he heard the unknown voice from the sky that one of the son of Devaki will kill Kamsa, like that. Then he wanted to kill Devaki, but Vasudeva promised that he will hand over all the childs of the sons of Devaki, so that he doesn't need to be worried about Devaki, like that. So then in this chapter we heard how Kamsa, under the protection of his father-in-law Jarasandha, and with the help of many of his demonic friends like Pralamba, Bakasura, Chanura, like that. So he started giving trouble to the Edu dynasty and those Edu dynasty members. So they left that Madura district and then took shelter of different states like Kuru, Panchala, Salva, like that. And then after Kamsa killed the first 6 sons of Devaki one after another, so then Lord Baladeva entered into the womb of Devaki, and on the order of Supreme Lord Krishna, Yogamaya transferred Lord Baladev from Devaki's womb to the Rohini womb. Then Krishna also ordered Yogamaya to take birth in the womb of Yashodamaya, and Krishna also we saw he appeared within the heart of Vasudeva, and then he was transferred to Mother Devaki's heart. So then seeing, because Krishna now is present in the heart of Devaki, so she appeared to be very affligent, and then upon seeing this affligence, Kamsa understand that this son could be the cause of his death. So he was full of anxiety. At the same time, he could not harm Devaki because it will bring infamy to him, and there is a family relationship. So then he started thinking about Krishna all the time. So he became fully Krishna consciousness. Of course, not in Anukulyana Krishna Anusilam. So there's a Pratikulana. And then now we are in the section where the demigods, seeing the Lord's presence in the womb of Devaki, So they started offering the prayers. So we'll continue that section from slokas 34. So in the 34th sloka, we see that the demigods are praying that so Krishna takes many incarnations for the maintenance purpose. So of course we hear that Krishna's incarnations are unlimited. It's not possible for one to count because his incarnations are coming like waves of a ocean. So they're continuously coming. So we cannot able to count. So they're unlimited. Of course, they are grouped into 6 categories like Purusha avatars, like Karanodaksai Vishnu, Garbhodaksai Vishnu, Kshirodaksai Vishnu, like that. And then Guna avatars, who are in charge of the 3 modes, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. And then we have so many Leela avatars, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Rama, like that. And then Manvantara avatars. So in each Manvantara also Krishna appears in that Manvantara, like Krishna appeared as Vaman Dev in Vaivasvata Manvantara, the current Manvantara, like that. So then we have Yuga avatara, Sikta Vaishya avatara, like that. Then also here the demigods are praying that is beyond the 3 modes, and when he appears in this way, best of all good fortune on the living entities by teaching them how to perform the Vedic activities, such as ritualistic ceremonies, like that. And Prabhupada also mentions that so these things, like whether it is austerity or penance, charity, those things should not be given up. Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita sloka, Yajnatana tapakarma natyachayam, like that. So either it is yajna, of course in Kali Yuga, the Sankirtan yajna, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the yajna or charity or austerity, so these should not be given up. And Krishna comes to one of the things he will teach us that these things should be performed, because these things even it will purify the personalities who are in an exalted position, like Egnodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam, like that. Even the very advanced spiritual realization people also, those people also still execute these Vedic principles so that they can be purified more and more, like that. So Prabhupada stresses that so everyone, even karmis, they are advised to work for the sake of the Lord. Otherwise, it will, those act, if they don't do for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, then it will bind them in this material world. Ajnardat karmanyo anyata lokayam karma bandhana. So if it is not done for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, then it will bind us. So that's one thing for us also. Whatever the activities that we do should inspire us to progress in the path of bhakti, and it should be done for the pleasure of the Krishna. So otherwise, it is a shrama eva hi kevalam. So it's just simply waste of time. Prabhupada mentions that time to time Krishna appears and teaches us, and in this age of Kali Yuga, Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 550 years back, and then he preached the process of Krishna consciousness. Of course, all these Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, those things very difficult to perform by the people of Kali Yuga, because first of all, I don't know how many people will read all the Vedic literatures to understand what are the activities to be done. So that's why in Kali Yuga, the recommendation, and Mahaprabhu also taught us that to chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam kalau nasteva gatiranyata. And here demigods also praying that Krishna appears, when he appears, he will appear with the transcendental body, which is beyond the modes of material nature. So Suddha Sattva. So there are the Krishna's form is in the Suddha Sattva. So beyond the 3 modes of the material nature, what we see in this material world. Sambhavami Atma Maya. So that's why, as yesterday Hare Krishna Kirtan Prabhu also mentioned, we should not mistake that Krishna or his incarnations like a material bodies similar to ours. And Krishna appears out of causeless mercy, so that from his instructions, the human society can be elevated. So otherwise we see that all the modern teachings or the um, modern scientists or politicians, they stress more on bodily comforts. So how to simply enjoy or indulge in sense gratification, ahara nidra bhayamayitunam cha, like those 3 4 activities. So if it is like that, Prabhupada stresses that scriptures saying that they are not better than Sayeva Gokaraha. Like, so one who is on the bodily platform, they are not better than Gokaraha. Like, either it is cow or asses, like that. In the next sloka, uh, we see that demigods are praying that if your transcendental body were not beyond the modes of material nature, one could not understand the difference between the matter and transcendence. Prabhupada also mentions that to understand Krishna, so here also says, only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your Lordship over the control of material nature. And it's very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. So Prabhupada mentions that to understand Krishna, one has to rise above the 3 modes. That's why Krishna in Bhagavad rise above the 3 modes. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Traigunya Bhavachana. So we have to rise above the 3 modes of the material nature. Then only one will be able to understand. Otherwise, one cannot understand. And Prabhupada also quotes Bhagavad Gita saying that Bhaktyamam Abhijanti. So devotees uh, who are progressing in the path of bhakti, because they are trying to go above the 3 modes of the material nature. So that's why Krishna reveals to them, and they will be able to understand better than the other people, like that. Otherwise, Krishna cannot be understood by non-devotees, because Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita that to those people I will not reveal to them. Naham prakasha sarvasya, like that. The Yogamaya curtain will be due to that, the non-devotees will not be able to understand. But the devotees who are trying to progress in the path of bhakti, Krishna reveals to them. So Prabhupada stressed that when Krishna present 5,500 years ago, during the end of the Dwapar Yuga, so many people saw Krishna, but many of them would not be able to understand. So even in Kurukshetra battle also, so there are many people, but not many of them are understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, like that. Of course, but still, whoever died in that battlefield, seeing the transcendental form of the Supreme Lord, they were able to liberate from this material bondage. And then in the next sloka, the demigods are praying that Krishna's transcendental name or fame are not ascended by those who merely speculate on the path of imagination. They can be ascertained only by through the devotional service. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that Krishna's name and fame are transcendental. Ata Sri Krishna Namadi Na Bhaved Grahyam Indriyai. So since they are transcendent, so people who are not in the path of bhakti, like the ordinary persons, so they will not be able to understand. So Prabhupada stressed even big scholars are the non-devotees who are in higher positions, they can also not understand Krishna. So they think that it is a fictitious, like that, imaginary, like that. So that's why in some libraries we see that the fiction, they say that Supreme Lord as Krishna. And I see there is one in the chart. Okay. And how do we understand, or how can we able to try to understand Krishna? Prabhupada mentions that Sevonmi hi jihvado swayam eva spurate adaha. So Krishna's transcendental name, form, they can be revealed only when one engages in the service of the Supreme Lord or his devotees. So that means we try to advance in the path of bhakti. Bhaktyamam abhijanasti. Then they will be able to understand. So here the demigods are saying that whether the impersonalists or non-devotees, they cannot be able to understand. And since Krishna is absolute, there is no difference between the name and his form. So the devotees understanding that, they will be able to understand. uh, if it is not absolute, like in this material world, the name and form are different. Like if we say the name mango, so we will not get the mango, so or we cannot taste the mango just by simply chanting the mango. But devotees who understand that there is no difference between the name and form of Krishna, so by chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so they realize that they are in the Krishna's company. So that's why Lord Krishna, Lord Brahma mentions in his Brahma Samhita prayer that so the devotee whose eyes are filled with love of Krishna, they see Krishna all the time. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Vrideshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarup. So they always be able to see Krishna because their eyes are anointed with the love of Krishna. And in the 37th sloka, Lord, the demigods are praying that so while engaged in various activities, devotees whose minds are completely absorbed in lotus feet, by constantly hearing, chanting, and also they cause others to remember your transcendental forms. They are always on the transform. They can understand the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada mentions that so this sloka, how Bhakti Yoga can be practiced, is mentioned. And the devotees who are in that advanced stage of the bhakti, so they are, though they are present in this material world, they are actually liberated. So because they perform the activities, whether they whatever the activities they perform, or they focus their mind in the Krishna consciousness, or the words they use for the purpose of narrating Krishna Katha, so all are connected to Supreme Lord Krishna. So that's why um, Prabhupada quotes Karmana Manasa Gira. So the devotees who engage their activities, their mind, their words in the process of Krishna consciousness, Nikalasva api avastasu. Though they are in this material body or they in this material world, they are called Jivan Mukta Sauchyate. So they are liberated personalities. So because they don't have anything to do with the material body what they have it. So that material body is also spiritualized. So that's why they don't fear uh, being in this material world also. Narayana Parasarve Nakutaschana Pipyati. So they don't have any fear. Because Swarga Pavarga Narakesh Apitulya Artha Darshanaha. So whether they were put in the heavenly planets or in the spiritual world or in the hellish planets, they see everything in an equal manner. So wherever they are simply absorbed in the process of Krishna consciousness, either chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra or whatever it is. That's why Mahaprabhu in his Sistastakami mentions that Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvara Bhavatad Bhaktaya Haitake. So he is not praying for the liberation or anything like that. He says that even if he takes birth after birth in this material world, so it's okay, but all he is praying that to be engaged in the devotional path, life after life after life after like that. And Prabhupada says that one who performs this path of bhakti, so even by chance, if they fall down from the path of bhakti, if they cannot complete their process of Krishna consciousness in this life, but there is no loss, because in the next life they continue where they left off. So like Prabhupada gives example of King Bharata. Bharata Maharaj, he was attached to deer, due to that he fell down from the process of Krishna consciousness. But next life, even though he got the body of deer, he was able to remember the Krishna consciousness. So he continued it. And after that he took the birth of Jada Bharata and perfected his life. But in the case of non-devotees, whether they acquire a lot of wealth or great education, in the next life again they have to start from the beginning. So that's why Prabhupada stresses to all the practitioners not to give up this process of bhakti and try as best as we can satatam kirtayanto mam. So engage all our time and effort in the Krishna consciousness by taking association of the devotees and following the instructions that were given by the acharyas or shastras like that. So in the 38th sloka, here the demigods are praying that as Krishna appeared, the heavy burden of the demons on this earth will be removed. And not only that, they are very happy because they can be able to see Krishna's lotus feet footprints on this earth. And we see that Krishna's lotus feet footprints, they are mentioned as 19. So on the uh, right foot there are 11 marks, and on the left foot there are 8, and they are like conch shell, club and disc, so all these things. So when Krishna appeared on this planet, so we also we would see those pastimes also. Krishna goes to the heavenly planets, of course in Vrindavana, Madhura, Dwarka, on this earth also he walked. So all his footprints are marked on this earth, on the heavenly planets like that. So demigods are very happy, and not only that the burden of the demons will be removed, but they were also able to see the marks of the lotus feet. And Prabhupada gives example of Akrura, like when he went to Vrindavana. So as soon as he entered into the Vrindavan area, then seeing the footprints of the lotus feet of Supreme Lord Krishna, so he fell down and then he offered dandavats. Like that he continued until the home of Krishna, like that. And in the next sloka, the demigods are praying that you are not an ordinary living entity appearing in this material world as a result of fruitive activities. And therefore your appearance or birth in this world has no other cause than your pleasure potency. Also here the demigods are saying that the living entities who are part and parcel of you, there is no cause for miseries like birth and death, except that when we are in the clutches of external energy. Prabhupada mentions that all the living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. Mamayvamsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. So we are part and parcel of Krishna, and qualitatively one, of course quantitatively we are very minute. And when Krishna appears, Sambhavame Atmamaya, so he comes in his transcendental form, and the no cause other than for his pleasure, like your pleasure potency, like that. So he comes through his pleasure potency. Other than that, there is no cause. Of course, Krishna appears when he saw that there is a decline in the dharma. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. So at that time, tadatmanam sujamyaham. So Krishna appears. And Prabhupada mentions that so when the living entity, so when they want to enjoy independent of the Krishna, so we will be put into the external energies in charge. So Krishna bahirmukhaya bhoja vanchakari. So when we turn away from Krishna and wanted to perform the sense gratification activities, then we will be under the clutches of Maya, then we will suffer. So birth, death, old age, diseases, like that. So in the next sloka, the demigods are offering prayers saying that previously accepted so many incarnations like Matsya Avataram, and then horse incarnation, Kurma Avataram, Lord Narasimhadev, Lord Ramchandra. So in whichever incarnation he appears, so there is a purpose, like each time when he comes, so he give the pleasure to the devotees, protect them, and then annihilate the demons. Of course, Acharyas mentions that higher than that, the other purpose is Krishna performs many wonderful activities so that the conditioned living entities in this material world, so they can be attracted to the Supreme Lord and take up this process of Krishna consciousness and perfect their life. Janma karma chame divyam deham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjuna, so like the Krishna's appearance and activities are transcendental, and whoever understands and whoever takes up this path of bhakti, then so they will be escaped from this cycle of birth and death, old age, diseases, which are miserable and suffering. So that's why Prabhupada mentions that so we should follow the instructions of Krishna, which are given in the Bhagavad Gita, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskara. Like always keep Krishna in the center of all our activities and make our human life successful. So like that the demigods are praying, and here they are saying that to Mother Devaki that by your good fortune and our good fortune, so Krishna with all his plenary portions like Baladeva, everything is in within your womb. So that's why there is no need to fear Kamsa, because he is going to kill, and he is the not only protector of you, but he is also protector of the entire Edu dynasty. Like that. And Prabhupada also mentions that in this sloka there is a particular word called within your womb, kuksikataha. So within the womb of Mother Devaki. So because in the earlier slokas we heard that Krishna appeared within the heart of Vasudeva and then transferred within the to the heart of Mother Devaki. But here it is mentioned as within the womb of Mother Devaki. So sometimes people may be people may see that as a contradictory, but Prabhupada says that there is no contradiction. Quoting Srila Jiva Goswami saying that there is no contradiction, because the Supreme Lord, how he transferred from Vasudeva's heart to the Mother Devaki heart, so similarly he is transferred, he himself moved from the heart of Mother Devaki to the womb of Mother Devaki. Because Krishna can do anything and everything, so he can go anywhere he wants. And in fact, Krishna is there everywhere. Annantarastu paramanuchayantarastam govindam adi purusham tamaham vacham. So that's why there is no contradiction whether Krishna be in the heart of Mother Devaki or he moved to the mother of Devaki's womb. There is no contradiction like that. So after that, offering these wonderful and beautiful prayers, the demigods, including Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, all of them return to their homes. And Prabhupada mentions that generally the Krishna's appearance or his activities is difficult to understand, as we discussed, is difficult to understand by non-devotees. But since the demigods, they are great devotees of Supreme Lord Krishna and also performing great service, they are fortunate to understand that Krishna appeared in the womb of Devaki. So hence they came and offered their prayers, and then they returned to their homes in the heavenly planets. So I'll pause it here. Thank you all for giving this opportunity. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vranda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.